How could you overlook something so fundamental? Savannah would never be so careless. Eleanor Vance's voice, sharp and laced with disdain, cut through the gentle hum of the kitchen fan. Her words coiled around Amelia Hayes like a vice. Amelia paused mid-stir, gripping the wooden spoon until her knuckles were white, her chest tightening. The pot of lentil soup simmered on the stove, but all Amelia could taste was the bitterness of Eleanor's judgment. My name is Amelia Hayes. I'm 32, a dedicated nurse, and for the past 3 weeks, I'd been the full-time caregiver for my recovering mother-in-law. When Eleanor had major surgery last month, I moved into her large, quiet house. I balanced my exhausting hospital shifts with endless nights by her side, not out of duty but from a genuine desire to help. I hoped this sacrifice might finally soften the years of cold distance between us. But no matter how tirelessly I worked, my efforts were always invisible, overshadowed by Savannah. Eleanor's perfect biological daughter breezed in once a week, smiled flawlessly for a social media photo, and left just as quickly. I didn't know how to respond. My throat was dry and the defensive words caught like thorns. Eleanor turned back to the table, muttering under her breath, her disapproval settling over the room like a heavy, stifling fog. Savannah, of course, was already running late for her weekly, carefully curated visit, yet Eleanor spoke of her as if she were the one standing here, ladle in hand, ensuring her comfort. Careless. That word felt like a deliberate twist of a knife. I had put my life on hold for 3 weeks, cancelled plans, traded shifts, and even missed my anniversary dinner with Owen. And for what? To be dismissed as careless because I hadn't added enough salt to the soup. Meanwhile, Savannah could float in for an hour, snap a selfie by the bedside, and walk out with all the credit. I stared into the pot, my hand trembling slightly. A quiet anger began to simmer just beneath the surface. It wasn't just Eleanor's words, it was the smug assurance Savannah exuded in every moment of her performance. She knew exactly how to frame herself as the devoted daughter, and she knew I wouldn't fight back. Just as I opened my mouth to finally defend myself, the front door creaked open. Savannah strolled in, her heels clicking against the hardwood floor. "Smells delicious in here," she chirped, holding a luxurious bouquet in one hand and her phone in the other, as if she were a ray of sunshine dropping by to brighten everyone's day. She gave me a brief, condescending glance, her smile lingering a second too long, then turned her full attention to Eleanor. "How's my favourite patient today?" she cooed, leaning down to kiss her mother's cheek. Eleanor's face instantly lit up, her earlier frustration with me vanishing. "Savannah, darling, you're just in time. I was telling Amelia how vital it is to pay attention to the little things." Not that she'd understand, she added with a pointed look my way. Savannah set the flowers on the counter and let out a soft, saccharine laugh. "Oh, Mom, I'm sure Amelia is doing her best," she said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. She turned to me, her expression unreadable. "Don't worry, Amelia. Taking care of Mom isn't easy. I've been learning that myself." I clenched my jaw. The rebuttal was right on the tip of my tongue, but Savannah was already moving, pulling out her phone for the inevitable photo opportunity. She posed next to Eleanor, leaning in with a radiant smile as her camera clicked. "Just want to capture these precious moments," she said brightly, as if she hadn't just utterly stolen the spotlight from everything I was desperately trying to hold together. As Savannah scrolled through her phone, no doubt selecting the perfect filter to enhance her devoted daughter persona, Eleanor sighed contentedly. "It's so nice to have both my girls here," she said, her gaze lingering solely on Savannah. "Though I'll admit, Savannah always knows just how to make me feel special." My grip tightened on the ladle. Both her girls. Special. I had spent the last 3 nights waking every 2 hours to help Eleanor shift positions, prepare her medication, and ensure she was comfortable. Savannah's contribution amounted to curated snapshots and vague reassurances. "Mom," Savannah began, her tone casually breezy, "I was actually thinking of bringing you that rare herbal tea you love next week. You know, the one from that little boutique downtown? It's been so hectic at work, but I'll make time. Oh, Savannah, that sounds marvellous, Eleanor exclaimed, her eyes practically glowing with pride. You are always so thoughtful. I couldn't stop myself this time. Thoughtful? I blurted, my voice sharper than I intended. Both Eleanor and Savannah turned to me, Eleanor's brows knitting together in confusion. She drops by once a week to take a few photos and then she disappears, I continued, my voice trembling slightly. I have been here every single day doing everything I can to make sure you are comfortable. Savannah's smile didn't falter. If anything, it grew wider, but her eyes flashed with something cold. Amelia, she said, her voice calm and measured. I didn't realize this was a competition. We're all doing our part, in our own way. Some more than others, I muttered under my breath, turning back to the stove. I felt the tension in the room shift, but I wasn't about to let her patronizing tone have the last word. The moment the words left my mouth, regret washed over me. Even though I was right, I hated that I'd let my frustrations spill over, that I'd stooped to making it sound like I was keeping score. That wasn't who I wanted to be, no matter how profoundly unfair things felt. A lifeline. Later that evening, I slipped into the guest room, shutting the door quietly. I sank onto the edge of the bed, my phone already in my hand. Owen picked up on the second ring, his voice warm but distracted. Hey, everything okay? No, I said, the word tumbling out. I'm exhausted, Owen. I've been doing everything for your mom, everything, and she doesn't even notice. Savannah walks in for 10 minutes with flowers and a fake smile, and suddenly she's the perfect daughter. Owen sighed heavily, the sound crackling through the speaker. Amelia, you know how my mom is. She's always been like this. You can't take it personally. I know she's like this, I snapped, my voice sharper than I intended. But that doesn't make it easier. Do you have any idea what it feels like to be here day in and day out and still be invisible? I stopped, swallowing the lump in my throat. I just needed you to understand. Owen's voice softened, a hint of concern cutting through his usual practicality. Amelia, maybe it's time to take a break. You've done more than enough. You've done everything, honestly. Why don't you come home for a week? Let Savannah step up for once. I miss you, and you need to take care of yourself too. His words caught me off guard, the knot in my chest loosening slightly. The thought of going home, of sleeping in my own bed and being with Owen was so tempting it almost hurt. But then I thought of Eleanor, her frailty, her stubbornness, and the nagging guilt returned. I don't know, I said quietly. What if she needs me? She'll manage, Owen said firmly. You've been more than generous, Amelia. It's okay to step back. You're not a bad person for putting yourself first for once. Owen and I lived 2 hours away. He adored his mother despite her quirks, but his job was at a critical point with deadlines he couldn't ignore. He called every day, always asking how I was holding up, but I knew it weighed on him that he couldn't be here to share the burden. I'll think about it, I said finally, my throat tightening. I promise. It felt like the right thing to say, even though I wasn't sure if I could really let myself walk away. The final edict. The next morning, I found Eleanor in the living room, sitting upright in her chair with the television on low. Amelia, she said without looking up, her tone already laced with irritation. I couldn't help but notice how late dinner was last night. It's not good for my digestion to eat that late, you know? I blinked, taken aback. Dinner was ready as soon as Savannah left. I thought we agreed. Yes, because you didn't have it prepared earlier, she interrupted, her words sharp. When Savannah is here, everything feels more put together. She doesn't need to be told what to do. She's considered. I let out a slow breath, trying desperately to keep my composure. I've been here every day, Eleanor. I've been doing everything I can to make sure you're comfortable, and yet somehow... It always feels like a struggle, she shot back, her voice growing colder. You're here physically, Amelia, but emotionally you're checked out. You don't seem like you actually want to be here. Her words struck like a blow. That's not fair, I said, my voice trembling despite my efforts to stay calm. I've put my life on hold to be here for you. I've been sacrificing. Oh, how noble of you, she cut in, her tone dripping with sarcasm. If it's such a burden, Amelia, maybe you should have just let Savannah handle it. She's busy, yes, but at least she doesn't make me feel like I'm an inconvenience. I opened my mouth, then closed it, the hurt and anger bubbling inside. Instead, I straightened, my voice quiet but firm. I'm doing my best, Eleanor. I'm sorry if that's not enough. She waved a hand dismissively, turning back to the television. Your best isn't what I need, Amelia. Savannah understands me in ways you never will. The room felt suffocating. Without another word, I turned and left, retreating to the guest room to collect myself. Sitting on the edge of the bed, I stared at the neatly folded clothes in my suitcase. Eleanor's words replayed in my mind. It was never enough, and it never would be. I couldn't keep sacrificing myself for someone who didn't see me, who didn't value what I was giving. Owen was right. I had done enough. I let out a shaky breath, wiping the tears that threatened to spill. It wasn't about giving up. It was about knowing when I'd reached my limit. For my own sanity, I had to stop waiting for her approval. I had to go home. I'm done. I decided to talk to Eleanor that afternoon. My heart pounded as I stepped forward, determined to finally speak my mind. Eleanor, I began, my voice steady but soft. I need to talk to you. She glanced up briefly. If this is about dinner tonight, I'd rather you focus on getting it right than wasting time chatting. My jaw tightened, but I pushed through. No, it's not about dinner. It's about how I've been treated since I got here. Her hand froze mid-stir, and she finally looked at me, one eyebrow arched. Oh, and how exactly have you been treated, Amelia? I took a deep breath, the words spilling out. I've been here every day, doing everything I can to take care of you. I've rearranged my life, missed important moments, and given you all of my energy. And yet, no matter what I do, it's never enough. You've made it clear, time and time again, that you don't value me. And honestly, I'm tired of being treated like I'm worthless. She set her spoon down with a deliberate clink. Well, she said coolly, if you're tired, Amelia, no one's forcing you to stay. Frankly, Savannah would do a much better job anyway. She always has. Her words stung, but I refused to let her see it. Savannah isn't here, Eleanor. She's never here for more than an hour or two. I've been the one taking care of you, but if you think she can do better, then fine. I'm done. Eleanor didn't flinch, her expression hard as stone. Good, she said with disdain. I won't miss the complaining. At least Savannah knows how to show respect. I nodded slowly, the finality of her words settling over me like a cold weight. I hope she can give you what you need, I said quietly, because I won't be back. Without waiting for her response, I turned and walked away, the unprepared successor. Back in the guest room, I packed my things with quiet determination. Eleanor's cutting words still rang in my ears, but I shoved them aside. It was over. Once everything was packed, I sat on the edge of the bed and pressed call on Savannah's number. What is it, Amelia? Savannah answered, her tone clipped and impatient. I'm kind of busy right now. I took a deep breath, refusing to let her attitude affect me. I'm leaving, I said simply. I've packed my things and I'm heading home. Eleanor needs someone here, so congratulations. You're up. What? She snapped, her voice immediately rising. Wait, what are you talking about? You can't just leave. I can, and I am, I said firmly. I've done my part, Savannah. It's your turn now. She let out a high-pitched, incredulous laugh. Oh, sure, just drop everything on me. Why don't you? Do you have any idea how busy I am? I can't just... I've been here for weeks, I cut in, my voice steady. You've had time to prepare for this. Mum's your responsibility too, and she seems to think you're better at this anyway. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Are you kidding me? Savannah shrieked, her tone growing frantic. I don't have time to babysit her. That's your thing, Amelia. You're the caretaker, not me. Not anymore, I said, my voice cold. Good luck, Savannah. Before she could respond, I ended the call. I stood, grabbed my suitcase and headed for the door. I didn't owe anyone an explanation. It was time to leave. The consequences. 4 days passed and I was starting to feel a sense of peace again. Then, late one evening, my phone buzzed. It was Eleanor. I picked up. "Hello?" I said cautiously. "Amelia." Eleanor's voice came through, shaky and strained. She sounded tired, desperate. I need to talk to you." "Is everything okay?" "No," she admitted, the word heavy with frustration. "Savannah hasn't been here since you left. She's barely answering my calls, and when she does, she has some excuse about work or being too busy. She promised me she'd be here." She paused, her voice trembling. "I've had to do everything on my own. I can't even manage the stairs some days. I don't know what to do, Amelia. I feel completely abandoned." Her words hit harder than I expected, stirring a mixture of sympathy and vindication. She had treated me like I was nothing, and now she was realizing what it meant to truly feel alone. "I'm sorry to hear that, Eleanor," I said finally, my tone neutral. "But I warned you this might happen. Savannah is good at saying the right things, but she's never been the one to follow through." There was a long pause, and for the first time, Eleanor's voice softened. I didn't think she'd just leave me like this. I thought she cared. "Eleanor, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. I wouldn't wish this on anyone," I began, my voice quiet but steady. "But I can't just come back. Not right now." "What do you mean, not right now?" she snapped, her tone immediately sharp. "I mean, I can't drop everything again to move back in," I said firmly. "Eleanor, you treated me like I was nothing when I was there. I gave everything I could, and you made me feel like I didn't matter. I can't put myself through that again." Her response was immediate and furious. "Oh, so now you're going to hold a grudge, are you?" she yelled. "You think you're so perfect, Amelia? You think I didn't notice the mistakes you made while you were here? Don't act like you're some martyr. You've never been good enough for this family, and now you're proving it." "Eleanor, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I tried," I countered, keeping my voice calm. "I gave everything I had, and you never saw that. And now, after everything, you expect me to come back as if none of that happened. I should have known. You're just like everyone else, selfish. At least Savannah would never abandon me like this." "Savannah already has," I said quietly, the words hanging in the air. There was a stunned silence before she exploded again. "Don't you dare talk about Savannah like that. She has her reasons, unlike you, who's just looking for an excuse to quit." "I'm sorry you feel that way, Eleanor, but I can't come back. Not like this." Before she could yell more, I ended the call, my hands trembling. An honest beginning. 5 days passed. Then, late in the evening, my phone buzzed again. It was Eleanor. I picked up. "Hello? Amelia?" Eleanor's voice broke on the other end, shaky and filled with tears. "Amelia, I'm so sorry." Her sobs were raw, her words tumbling out in fragments. I don't know what to say. I've been sitting here thinking about everything, and I can't believe how awful I was to you. You didn't deserve any of it. I don't even know why I acted like that. You gave so much, and I threw it back in your face." I sat down, stunned. "Eleanor." "No, let me finish," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "I've been so unfair to you, Amelia, so blind. You didn't have to come here, but you did. You took care of me when no one else would, and I treated you so terribly." Her sobs deepened. "I regret it so much. Savannah hasn't been here in days, and now I see it. I see what you were saying all along. I need you to know how truly sorry I am. I didn't deserve your kindness, but you gave it anyway." Tears pricked at my eyes. Her sincerity cut through the pain I'd been carrying. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. "Thank you, Eleanor," I said softly. "That means more than you know. I don't expect you to forgive me," she whispered, her voice cracking. "But I had to tell you I'm so, so sorry." I sat in silence for a moment, letting her words sink in. "I'll need time," I said finally, my voice gentle but firm. "But I appreciate your apology. It's a start." "It is," she agreed, her sobs quieting. I'll try to do better, Amelia, I promise. When the call ended, I set the phone down, my heart heavy but lighter all at once. For the first time, it felt like there was a path forward, however slow it might be. After Eleanor recovered, everything was different. She treated me with kindness and gratitude, her sharp edges replaced by genuine warmth. Each visit was lighter, filled with moments of connection instead of tension. Eleanor went out of her way to show her appreciation. While the past couldn't be erased, it no longer weighed us down. For the first time, I felt truly valued, and that made all the difference.